So yeah, this is the very first Matti and Pete Show.
Number one.
Episode number one.
It's number 2.
Technically, it's number 2.
Yeah.
First one, was it a failure or a test?
I don't think it was a failure. I think it was a good, feeler.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a tester.
Yeah. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it look? How does it sound? How does it color?
Also kind of trying to figure out what the heck is this podcast about? Because we didn't really... We're just we want to do this has been a long time coming. Almost like a year to the day, time coming.
Yeah. I get asked constantly. I think the problem was that we set this up a year ago and we've been making videos in this room and everyone has seen, even the sign. They've seen the sign now. They've seen the mics. They've seen the tables. We've told them. And then nothing has come.
I think we've had these mics here for at least half a year, which is embarrassing.
Sure. Maybe more than that.
We probably didn't use them for the first 3-4 months at least. They were just literally sitting here.
I used them in some videos.
Well, yeah, you did.
If they're here, all right, let's go.
I'm gonna use them. Yeah.
But people actually in my videos didn't like them. They thought that it was distracting.
Having the arm.
Yes, based on the fact that I've had a boom mic.
Yeah, you've never had an
entire
arm.
time. Yeah,
right.
So people were like, mm-mm.
But ever since we got this space, we've wanted to do a podcast together.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things. Podcast corner. We'll start a podcast. Yeah. And then it just took a really long time.
Took a year.
Yeah, but I think it's
busy.
I think let's give us some slack. I think it's partly because we wanted to do it well and not force it in any way, right? We wanted to do it the way we want to do it. No pressure, no nothing, just do it.
Yeah, I think when you came to me with the idea, we both very quickly agreed that I don't really want it to be any extra work.
Yeah.
I just want it to be fun and I want to do it when I want to do it. I don't want to have to stress about it. We've got our own things going on all the time. Those are priority. This is kind of on the back burner, and it has been, but it would be great to get it going. So here we are.
Yeah, it's not like this isn't a priority. It's like a hobby, you know? And a hobby,
That's
you don't want to force a hobby. It's if I feel like doing my hobby, I'm going to do my hobby.
Yeah.
But I don't want anybody to tell me, I got to do my hobby next Monday at 10 a.m.
How's that hobby coming?
Yeah.
And when's that hobby going to show me something?
Yeah. But what did you envision that this podcast would be about? I think we're pretty much on the same page. But
yeah, obviously based on our channels, the stuff that we do, the stuff that we're known for, I always assumed it would be about filmmaking, photography, but then you know me, I know you, it's going to venture off into weird places. We're going to get talking about TV shows, then it's going to go into cars or trucks, whatever.
Cars.
But it's SUVs for you.
Yeah, true.
But it's going to go right there. It's just going to go off when it goes off. But the underlying premise, the actual bedstone of the whole thing is going to be probably traditional media stuff.
Well, we're not just filmmakers, right?
Yes.
We're humans. Yeah. We're interested in other things also.
That's a weird way to say it.
Well, people are interested in many things, but I think a lot of people, they watch our channels and they categorize us as filmmakers, YouTubers, whatever, and that's all they do is just
I'm a person too.
Eat, sleep, drink films, and then they don't do anything else. We also are interested in a lot of other things. So I think anything that we're interested in is kind of fair game for this podcast.
I would agree.
In my mind, at least.
I would agree.
Plus, having guests. We got to have some guests on here.
Yeah, that diversifies it.
Yeah.
I don't think people want to just hear from you and me all the time, over and over and over and over, sitting here talking about
And to be fair,
nonsense.
I also want to talk to other people, not just you. So it'd be interesting to talk to some really cool people that are just mavericks or the top guns in their areas.
I want to listen.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to
I want to learn. Yeah.
I do enough talking. Yeah. It's time
You
to
do?
listen. By Mavericks, were you trying to hint at that you want Logan Paul on this podcast? That might be hard.
I would be down.
What an interesting episode that would be.
He is a very interesting character. I'd be down with that.
I feel like we just sit here and look at each other.
Yeah, probably just laugh and be like,
how did we get here? Yeah. I'm well.
But speaking of spaces, you are finally moving out.
I'm out.
It's coming.
We had a really big argument.
Yeah. Massive fight.
It got really heated.
It was pretty bad.
Some things were said.
It was bad.
Some things were said that can't be taken back.
I thought that was going to be the end of everything, but
quite the opposite. It's funny though, because You actually announced it on your channel before I had. So the video that you did where you said,
No.
Peter got a new office. I hadn't actually told people that I had got an office yet. I said I was looking.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing.
It's funny.
I
It's
thought
fine.
you announced it in that Q&A video that you're like, I'm moving. Didn't you have like a moving on title even? I thought you talked about it in that.
To talk about that, I was like looking for a new space to move on to other things.
My bad.
Yeah, it's fine. But in that
Raw
video,
talk, you're raw talk.
you specifically said though in that video, like he's just going to find another office, needs more space, whatever.
Yeah,
we're still friends. Nothing happened. And then in my video, I think I even said, what was yesterday? Now that on this day of the podcast, it was yesterday when I posted
that
it.
we're filming this right now.
Yeah, I said, still friends. I'm still going to be here filming the podcast, harassing you, coffee shops, friends.
Hopefully not as much harassing.
Maybe more. Maybe more. Like you think you're free.
No, I'm kidding.
But no, it was literally, it was just a need to expand for all the ideas and things that I want to do in the future with my brand and companies and stuff like that and other people that I want to bring in. I just need more room. I just need more room because like right now, this place is pretty small and we split it. So like I have one corner where I film, you have one corner, and it's not a lot of room to do a lot of things and there's not a lot of variety. You said it your best, like you said it best yourself, I think a couple of weeks ago. You said this is an office better suited for one person ultimately, right? We made it work and it was fun, but yeah, it's time to move on for me.
I think when we got this space, we were like, our channels, we're still super new to YouTube. I think we were done a year and a bit, both of us. And we were both just at that point where like, it would be really nice to have a different space to film in and not have to worry about, like weird things like showing your front door of your house kind of thing where you don't want people to know where you live or
just
anything.
Noise like kids and stuff like that.
There's
You got
just
dogs
so
barking.
many different things. It's nice to have this dedicated space. And at the time we were both looking for one. So we're like, why don't we just get an office together? This makes perfect sense. And I think it worked out really well for the most part.
It still works.
Yeah, it still works.
Like we're still doing it every day.
Totally fine. Yeah. There's definitely, what would you say are let's talk about
what I don't like?
Yeah, let's talk about the worst things first about sharing this space.
Okay.
We've been here for almost exactly a year now, actually.
It was
April, I think.
April 29th or something.
Yeah,
So, yeah, pretty
almost
much,
exactly a year from now.
Yeah, like almost to the day.
Yeah.
I would just say I don't like having, and it's nothing to do with like you personally. It's just when you want to get up and go make a video, I don't like having to check in to see if I can do that based on like what you're doing. So it's like every morning you still wake up, text you, instead of saying like, what's up, man? Like, how's life? It's like, hey, are you going to be there like, in my way, technically? And it's like, no, I'm just going to be there for this time. So it's like still having to deal with schedules, doing the same job at the same time. That's what's difficult about it. You just want to come in, hit record, get it done, and be on. Like if you're on a flow, if you get a great idea, you don't want to have to wait if you're live streaming or if your buddies are here or vice versa. Like Gabriel's here and we're talking about Ethernet cables or something.
Classic Ethernet cable.
He's into IT, so.
Yeah, it's not even, it's not that big of a deal because it doesn't, when we sit down and start recording a section of our video, it doesn't take that long to record it.
No.
But it's that, I also didn't like that fact that you almost in a sense become a nuisance that I have to figure. It's one more hurdle. Not that you're a nuisance, but
totally understand.
It's one more hurdle that I have to think about every day and be like, oh, what's Peter doing in the office?
Oh, he's gonna be there for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I guess then I got to push everything back to tomorrow, which means I can't upload on this day, so I can't do that idea. But the embargo lifts, so no, I'm gonna have to make it work. So then you got to text and say, no, dude, like I gotta be in there by noon, and then it just makes things hard.
And then also,
it's no one's fault.
I think people have very weird misconceptions about what people call us like partners and stuff like that. Like we have completely different channels, different things.
Businesses.
We just share an office essentially.
That's it.
That's it. This podcast.
That might be confusing for people, but this is the first time we've actually done something as a joint effort.
Exactly.
It's just been two like best friends traveling, making videos on YouTube. Doing the same job in the same office, but
separate.
No.
This is the first
connection.
This is the first joint partnership thing that we're doing.
I think that's because we travel a lot together. We work really well together.
Well,
people like us on screen together. So we've just been it's Matti and Pete.
Yeah. Well, we're basically best friends. So it's like, I get it. I understand it. Yeah. And we
Yeah.
share an office and all that. It's like, oh, they're kind of the same, but we're not.
I would venture out there though that it has been frustrating at times when people just instantly assume like, is Pete coming then?
Oh yeah.
Or people meet me and they're like, oh, is Matti there?
Yep.
And it's like, well, I don't know. Like Matti lives his own life. Like figure it out. I don't know. No idea.
Or even if brands email, they kind of sometimes assume that we're like a package.
Yeah.
You know, and we
which
go
is
together.
cool.
Yeah, I love that.
But at the same time, I want to establish that I am very much my own channel, doing my own thing, as are you. And when we decide to do something together, we'll make it known.
Yeah.
Like this podcast.
And I think for me also, one of the problems is that because you are a bigger channel and maybe my also Finnish side, I always kind of give you the leeway. Like if it's like you want to film at a certain time, I'll work around that. Oh, and that's what I find myself doing often.
Sure.
And even with, bigger brand, I think a lot of people would reach out to you and then maybe assume that I would come along or something like that. Whereas they wouldn't necessarily do the vice versa as much because you are the bigger channel and all that, bigger brand.
So like little things, I mean, I like your Scandinavian taste and design, but I would also have graffitied the shit out of this wall.
We still have differences in design. I think for me, one of the hardest things, it's also one of the best things, but it's also one of the hardest things is that you're a massive distraction.
Yes.
You are a massive
myself.
Yeah, also that. But I'm trying to like edit something. And it's like, come take a look at this. Come take a look. It's like every 2 seconds. And I like that.
You'll miss it.
I'm sure I will. But at the same time, when you're traveling and you're not here, I get so much more work done. Just from my productivity.
I won't apologize for that.
I don't expect you to. Just the productivity is going to be way higher when we have our own spaces. At least for me.
Yeah.
You might still distract yourself a little bit.
No, I'm thinking it's going to be more like I'm bored. Because I won't have you to be like,
I have a feeling you're going to come here pretty often.
I'm like, you'll be getting FaceTimed like every 20 minutes. Check this out. Send you some links.
Yeah. Come check this out quick.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. It's we're still pretty close to each other, so it shouldn't be that big of a commute. I think we can still one wheel to each other, so that's cool. And yeah, there's really nothing changing besides the fact that I have more space, doing the same things, still traveling.
And I have more space now,
and you have
too.
more space. So maybe just our videos are going to get better now.
Yeah.
Right? So
and we're still,
it's exciting.
We have trips planned. We're still going to do drone wars and videos together every once. We should actually probably do a drone wars. We haven't done one for a while.
I suck at drones, man. Like,
is it just getting embarrassing at this point?
You're the drone master. I'm like the drone loser.
Fair enough.
And I'm okay with that. I want to see you drone off against Sam Colder.
Oh my gosh, I would get wrecked. Yeah. Sam is so good.
I just want to laugh at you getting wrecked by Sam.
Oh my gosh.
I think Sam would wreck just about anybody.
It's incredible how good he's been messing around with like the racer drones now, which is a totally different
Why are you doing that?
I want to get into that, but I'm also very scared of it.
You need to be doing.
Well, I was talking to one guy and he's like, well, it's a lot of building drones. And I'm not interested in building drones.
Maybe you would be.
No, that's
Maybe
not my
Maybe become
thing.
a facet of the channel that would be exciting.
No.
Okay.
I'm not into tinkering with stuff and like.
So get them built for you and then fly them.
Maybe I'll get at my editor Matt to learn how to build them, and I'll crash them. And
he's
then
a nerd. He'll be good at it. Yeah.
Come in first thing in the morning. Hey Matt, can you fix this for me?
It's like soldering with his glasses on.
But speaking of Sam Colder, his shots, the shots he's getting are just incredible.
Insane.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I'm not, because I just know I'd never be able to do it.
Both of us would definitely crash our drones.
You'd be able to do it.
I with practice, I think I could.
You know what it's like? It's like an episode of Drone Wars for him every time he flies.
Every time.
Like when we get to the highest level of Drone Wars and we're like, that's him like every time.
Plus, he's flying backwards most of the time. How does he? I don't understand how he does that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't understand how he does anything he does.
Sometimes I'm like, he must just reverse his footage. Yeah. But then there's times where this isn't reversed. I'm confused.
Let me ask you a question here, because I was with him a month ago and we were hanging out, we were having coffee, and I was just so enamored at how talented he was and how young he is.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like now I'm just the old, I know where this is going. I'm the old man, dude. Like we're the old dudes in the game at this point. Like when I look at some awesome creators and I find they're 21, 22, I'm like,
yep,
I'm the old guy now. I used to look at, like, back in the magic industry, I would see all these people who were, our age now and refer to them as the old people. And they were wondering how I was doing what I was doing in that industry when I was 22. And here we are.
Here we are.
It's flip. I don't consider myself old, but it's the same thing like sports.
A lot of people would consider us old, though.
Yes, that's fine. But I really don't think. I'm 32.
Same.
So I don't think that's old. But it's the same as like it's sports. Oh, that athlete's, that's his last World Cup. He's 28 now.
He's done.
Like, what? He's 28. Like, he's just starting. Like, no, man, he's done.
All downhill from here.
Messi he's out. He's never going to play a World Cup again. You're like, why?
I have actually recently had a little bit of, not the feeling of I'm getting old or that kind of, but the realization that it's coming soon. I think
Oldness?
No, just that there's going to be young kids who are so much better than me when I was that age. Like, obviously, there's always going to be people that are better than us, whatever.
Of course.
But it forced me to think about, okay, how can I innovate my channel? Because you can't just keep doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to change a little
You got to
bit.
grow with your audience.
Yeah. Plus, I would get bored if I was
There's
just
also
doing the same
things
thing.
I just don't understand now.
Yeah.
That young kids are doing in Mocha and other software, Nuke. I don't even care. I just don't even want to know.
I wonder, are we past how there's like a massive learning phase? At least there was for me. Are we kind of past that massive,
No.
I still try to learn all the time, but I don't know if I'm.
But that, just based on you saying that, I would say no.
Yeah.
Because we're always trying to learn new things. Because it's not just a matter of like survival to learn. It's passion.
Yeah, it's something you
Like,
want to do.
I want to be better at certain things, and I want to add new skills to my skill sets and repertoire of my bag of tricks. So it's not from a point of extinction and fear of being extinct or anything. It's just because I love what I do, and I want to do it the best I can, and I want to continue to progress forever until I am just old and stupid, covered in tattoos and long hair, and drinking a coffee on a porch somewhere.
Are you not covered in tattoos now?
Not enough. There's a lot more that need to be done.
I think as soon as you stop learning, that's when things start to either plateau or go down a little bit.
I would say, or stop caring about like learning.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the same thing, right? Like if you're not learning, then, if you don't care about learning, you're not going to learn.
I think you're always learning. I think you're always picking up new things
true.
and stuff's happening.
That
But
makes
then I
sense.
think there's a difference between people who are seeking out to learn.
There's a difference between just making stuff and learning through that, and then just seeking out opportunities to learn, like just watching a tutorial to learn.
All right, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get better at After Effects this year. 2019, I'm going to crush this program. By next year, I want to be doing this. That's like actively seeking out new knowledge versus
rewatch every single Video Copilot tutorial ever.
Yeah. What's up, Andrew Kramer? We could probably get him on this podcast.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, he'd be down.
Did you know those were the very first tutorials I ever watched on the internet? Video Copilot.
Andrew Kramer here with video. Yeah, I forget, but it was something like that. He's funny.
He's great.
Very quirky. He's just as great in person.
Yeah. I met him just briefly at NAB, but he seemed like a really nice guy.
He was so much fun to work with. They were so easygoing, so nice. Their studio was awesome. And just watching him, like, you can see the plan in his head, and he's got just paper out, he's drawing things down, he's looking around, and you can just watch the gears turn. And it was just really, really awesome to be able to work with someone like that.
Doing that little project, did it make you think like, oh, I want to do more of this kind of stuff on my channel?
Part of the reason I got a warehouse.
Yeah.
I just wanted the space to be able to...
Are you going to have a massive green screen?
Yeah, well, I wanted to be able to bring my truck into the warehouse, green screen all around it, and just make a 2-minute short that's like funny of a car ride with stuff happening out the windows and like explosions or like running through
Poor
red
man's
lights.
Process.
Whatever. Yeah.
For those of people who don't know, a lot of car scenes in movies and stuff are filmed just like in a warehouse, and they just fake everything.
Yeah, or on a flatbed, and they just drive the truck through town or something.
Poor man's process is literally just like people waving around lights and like doing all this weird stuff to make it look like it's legit driving through.
But I want to experiment with more of that type of thing, more of like the short film, more little skits, sketches, comedies, random, I'm talking a lot with the Corridor Digital guys as well.
Yeah, they're great.
And more like, I love that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't really have a huge passion for making videos, with guns and like heavy violent themes.
No.
I definitely can see that. Like, I want to do it.
I would not be surprised if you did.
It wouldn't be like, I love that type of like entertainment as far as TV shows go and Netflix shows and SEAL team stuff. Like, I love it. But
hold on to that thought. Literally, as I'm walking to my church on Sunday, one of the guys from
Unit.
the unit.
That's so sick.
He greeted me. I'm like, oh hey,
What's up, Hammerhead?
Yeah,
That's his name.
I forgot
That's
what
his call
is.
sign.
Is that his name?
Hammerhead. Next time you see him, say, "What's up, Hammerhead?"
Hammerhead.
He might just look at you super uncomfortably, or
That
he
was
might
great.
be like,
Yeah.
"Really?"
He'll just be like, oh, so annoying. Again.
And say, "Ugh,
Sorry,
I'm at church."
I totally cut off what you were saying.
No, I was just saying I foresee doing some videos like that. I'd like to try.
Yeah.
I remember watching Freddie Wong when I was younger, and he was like the master of these little action sketches. He still is. He's hilarious. They're funny. They're always super creative. And when they get together with the Corridor guys, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'd love to just try some stuff like that and experiment around, which is why I wanted a space that would allow me to do things and have more people. If I needed 10, 15 people in my warehouse helping with something like that, I could
need
do
more
it.
space.
Yeah. And I don't want to, there's just not enough space in here.
Yeah.
And let's just say, so the worst thing about this office, the worst thing in the world, I hate it every day. Loathe it.
Don't even say
I
it.
loathe it.
I'm
It
still
makes me
staying here.
so mad are the freaking stairs.
That's great. It's a workout.
No, it's horrible.
It's a morning workout
There's
every day.
46 stairs, and I hate each and every one of them.
You've literally counted them.
Every
man.
day I count them.
See, I think
I hate you, 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 all the way to the top. And then I'm panting and I taste blood.
is that going to deter you from coming up here as often?
No, no. I've done it for a year.
I was just checking.
I can keep it going.
So for me, I've always thought, not to say that you're more of an actor than a filmmaker, but you have a massive like actor part of you, and
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's something that you really enjoy. Whereas I'm not as much of an actor. I'm more
I think
of
it comes from this. I think it
for
comes
sure.
from this stuff. Like
performing. Yeah.
you're doing that for half my life.
For those of you who are just listening, he's pointing to his cards.
I'm holding a deck of cards right now, and
If you've been hearing that throughout the
That's what
podcast
it
and
is,
you're really
yeah.
annoyed right now,
yeah,
it's his cards.
Why is he shuffling in the background?
What is
That's
that?
what that is. But I think it comes from hanging out with other performers, watching shows, going to shows, crafting shows, doing my own shows, like writing shows, being a part of writing other people's shows. That has really ingrained, that sort of like acting, because you're playing the part of a character. Like
You're just
not,
freaking good at it, though. You're
just
really
really
good
like
at
it.
it.
I
You're
just
you're
really
so
like it.
natural at it.
Everyone loves this new little character I've introduced, which is like, I've heard people call it Mean Pete, Squarespace Pete,
All right, I know what you're talking about.
asshole Pete. Like there's been, but I don't know, like everyone always thinks no one's off camera when I'm talking, but little do a lot of people know there's usually always someone sitting behind my camera manning it, right? So I'm actually talking to this person, identity to be revealed in a later date, in a later video podcast. Who knows?
Mysteries.
Most people probably know, but so I thought it would be cool if looking off camera, it flipped to me, and it was like maybe he was looking at this other version of himself, which started becoming a character, which people wanted to see more of, and I just started having more and more fun with it. But that kind of stuff, like I've even made you act, and you're pretty good too.
You are the reason. Like, if there's three things that I had hated the most as a young people. Wait, what are the three things? I've done them. So okay, so acting. Public speaking was definitely one, and I've done that quite a bit in the past. One of the things I never ever want to do was run my business, which I love now, and also public speaking I love now. And then the third thing that I definitely the worst one ever would be acting. I would never ever want to act. And
we are.
I think that's something that you've kind of pushed me into, and now I do enjoy it more. I think it's one of those things where if you suck at something, or you think you suck at something, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Anything in life, if you suck at it, it's just not fun.
Or if you're
I hate
nervous about it, or uncomfortable with it, it's just awkward.
But if you're really bad at, basketball, you're gonna hate playing basketball. It's just not fun when
I
you
do
suck
hate
at
playing basketball. Yeah, I appreciate
You're
it.
tall,
but I don't like it at all.
Yeah. And I think that's what it was for me. I was scared of it, and I still am. If I had to just act for something, if somebody was paying me to go and act in something,
I would love that.
I would, yeah.
I want to try more. Like I don't think I'm the best at it by any means.
But you're good.
I watched like one of my friends, Patrick Adams, like I watched him and his wife just did a film called Clara, and it was amazing.
He's the guy from Suits.
He's the guy from Suits, yeah. Mike Ross. From the show Suits.
Great show.
But watching them act together and just actually studying how natural they are, you just think to yourself, wow, that's hard to do. Because even in the little skits we've done, it's hard it's one thing to be sarcastic and kind of quirky and funny, or
little mini
Squarespace
skits.
Pete. Like that's easy to just pull off in like little bite-sized seconds. But to carry out a conversation or like a scene that like they need to cry or something, I don't know that I could do that at all.
Yeah, it's on a whole different level. We're kind of on the shallow level, and they're thinking all like the inner motivations for why they would move over here, or why they would do this thing
pauses,
or that thing.
I liken it to like when I tried 10 weeks of stand-up comedy.
10 weeks?
Yeah.
You did 10 weeks?
Yeah, it was the worst.
I don't know if I've ever heard of this.
It was so bad.
I knew you've done a little bit, but
it was so bad. But
bad as in you didn't enjoy it, or you were bad?
I was bad.
Okay.
I was
Just
really
clarifying.
bad. So
it's always nice to hear when Peter's not good at something.
oh, this was bad.
Because Peter's really good at a lot of things.
I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Yeah. No, but my friend Bobby has a show, and every week he would do this show, and I just asked him. I was opening for him, doing like magic stuff. But you're always hiding behind the props. I got a deck of cards in my hand. The focus is on the deck of cards. You're watching this. You're not watching me. It's not about me being funny on the spot. You're watching the cards flip around.
There's a buffer.
Yes. Stand-up comedy,
It's just you.
It's just you. You're so vulnerable. You're standing on stage with a mic, and it's like, all right, man, be funny. So I wanted that challenge. I wanted to see if I could do it. And there were nights where I got lots of laughs, and then there was nights where it was just silence. There's nights where I could see people getting up and leaving, and like that, I'm opening for a friend and they're leaving his show because how bad I was at this. And sometimes I would swear and people thought it was great. Then I would try that again the next night and nobody thought it was great. My punchlines would not be funny, but the thing after the punchline, everyone would laugh at. So a friend of mine named Adam Wilbur that I worked with at Illusionist, he bought me like a book called The Comedy Bible, and he bought me some stuff to read. He's like, saw that I was really into it and was like, hey man, like I respect that you're going hard at this. Give this book a read. Like maybe it'll help you. But
you think he saw your skills and was like, you need some help?
I think
or
he
like
just
you just
respected,
nice?
like he's just a good friend.
Yeah.
And he respected that there was something I was enjoying that I could, just try my hand at. And I read this book and realized how much work goes into writing jokes and how much structure goes in and how people go through like years of one joke to get it to the point where you're at home laughing with tears in your eyes. That was 3 years of work or 3 years of learning the delivery so that it hits with everybody. And I just realized this isn't something I can be good at in 10 weeks in one, this is going to be like, I need to dedicate time to this. And I wasn't willing to do that. So it was more just for fun.
Not just 3 years of working on stuff, but it would be a lot of time not getting any laughs. A lot of times
working
getting
garbage
booze.
venues.
Yeah, people leaving what you had. That would be a lot of it, I'm sure, because that's the only way to truly find out if it's funny or not is in front of people.
And truly get better.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
know why those people are leaving. And it's the same with videos, it's the same with everything that we do. You got to put out the vlogs that suck so that you know what people don't like about them. You got to put out the tutorials that people didn't understand. Why didn't they understand them? And then you can take those things and it makes you better. So that was kind of the catalyst and the reason why I wanted to be a better performer. And I knew that like being up on stage with a mic trying to be funny would teach me a lot about my performance.
Would you do it again?
No. No.
I feel like you would be probably pretty good at it now if you worked on it hard, but yeah, it would, just like anything, it takes so much effort and work. Even with our YouTube channels, I don't think people realize the amount of time we've put into filmmaking, even before we ever started our YouTube channels and made our first videos. There's so much learning and doing and making projects. And making a bunch of crap. Yep. I think everybody makes a bunch of crap in the beginning. Yeah. A lot of it.
And like a lot of it, you'll never see from me because it's just buried in hard drives.
It's just embarrassing.
Yeah. But it's funny though, you've even said before, because we've spent so much time traveling and hanging out, you almost know, because I still love comedy and stand-up comedy and all that stuff. You've pointed out, like, when I'm sort of low-key testing a bit. Yeah. Because we'll be with a group of people and I'll start going off about the gym and I'll be like, talking about what I don't like about it. And you'll look over and just kind of shake your head and laugh. And you'll say something like, were you practicing a new joke? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I was.
And then I hear like a week later, you're telling the same story or whatever.
It's more dialed.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
And then we'll go speak in Belfast and I'll start off the talk. I'm like, same thing. The one thing I don't like about the gym, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're like, oh, here he goes.
He's been working on this. So
you can hear the voice changes and everything.
So good.
Yeah.
By the way, you watched. Are we doing spoilers on this?
I think we can. We just have to let everyone know ahead of time.
Spoiler alert. There may be spoilers in this next section if you are a Game of Thrones fan.
Yes. So if you watch Game of Thrones and you are not caught up, stop now and maybe just don't listen to the rest of this podcast.
To be fair, this might be a little bit late, so we're going to talk about episode 3. Oh, I think we can talk about 1, 2, and 3, but I think specifically episode 3 because we just watched that, both of us.
I've got things to say about episode 3.
Okay, it was crazy. First off,
yeah.
Again, spoiler: if you have not seen it yet, you want to see it, skip ahead maybe a little bit. Or, just turn off the podcast now.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Cheers.
Okay, I watched it before you. You were gone. You didn't watch it right away.
I shut my phone off. Put it on airplane mode. I went zero social media for 2 days so that it wouldn't be spoiled. It almost got spoiled the day after I uploaded a video. The day I was going to watch it, and I saw a thumbnail of like the Night King with fire around him. But I expected to see something like that anyway, so it didn't matter.
It didn't spoil.
Okay, ultimately a great episode. The production feat alone, we know this.
Insane.
We know William. He was in that episode. He was standing right behind Tormund when they did when they did the pan at the beginning.
No way. He's a guy we met in Ireland.
Yeah. He was there for all 55 nights of shooting that.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Super cool.
Yeah.
The feat alone. 55 nights.
You watched the BTS, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Immediately following the episode.
It's funny because they were talking about how, I forget who it was talking about, but they were saying it's something that you're gonna struggle through. You're gonna hate shooting this 55 days, but you're gonna be so glad you did it.
Yeah.
You won't need to do it again.
Yeah.
But you're glad you did it the first time.
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Yeah, and I can relate to. There's been I haven't shot for 55 nights, whatever. That's insane. But there's definitely been shoots where I'm like, I don't want to be here right now. This sucks. I just want to go home. I want to go to my bed and sleep or whatever. But then you finish it, you see the whatever the end result was, and you're like, I'm glad I did it.
And they made history.
Oh,
you're a part of making history.
What were the stats? So 55 days to shoot that one battle scene. There was like 750 people or something like that on set.
I think it cost, I heard 15 million.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
For that episode.
Wow.
Okay, so
longest battle scene also in TV or film, longer than Helm's Deep and Lord of the Rings and all that, which is crazy.
I'm sure there's a whole bunch more that we were missing.
But those are the main ones, I think.
So, okay, visually, there were some things in there that were just insane. The Dothraki charging the dead.
That's so good.
All their flames. I think it also formed like the shape of a dragon when they were, if you look back, I watched like 100 videos that everyone posted about the episode. I just couldn't stop. I think it forms the shape of a dragon when they're running towards the dead. Then all the flames going out.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Some of like the wide landscape shots of the fire lighting up the sky and the clouds, the dragons above the clouds.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
Come
good.
on.
And to do, what was it, like 82 minutes long or something? To do essentially a battle scene for 82 minutes, and for me to not, especially for me personally, to not get bored. I get bored of if there's too much action a lot of times.
Of course.
Like some Marvel movies where it's just superheroes and just action. I'm like sleeping literally, like literally falling asleep.
You know why you didn't get bored is because they split it up to things like Arya in the library or whatever.
Exactly.
And suddenly it goes from like pandemonium to dead silence.
That's always the key, is if there's a big battle scene like this, you have to always show the humanity in it. You have to show your main character, show what they're going through in those battle scenes, show their little struggles. So yeah, they did a really good job of breaking it up into, for example, Arya going and like trying to escape by herself and all that. Just like showing those little bits. That's what keeps my interest throughout 82 minutes of battle.
They really made her the hero of the whole episode. Like not just from the ending, but if you look back at her involvement, she's the coolest. She's the best. I think she's probably shown the most. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Want to talk about what we didn't like about it?
Yeah.
There's quite a few things I didn't like about it.
So first off, there's a lot of criticism about it being too dark. Like that was probably the main thing. Out of all the things I saw on Twitter, that was the most often post thing that I saw was that it's too dark. I couldn't see anything.
I watched it on a really garbage TV.
So you couldn't see anything?
It was super. I was like this the whole time.
I think I need glasses, and I was doing that too, especially.
Yeah, I think I wanted to go into Lightroom and just boost the shadows so I could see everything. But I read a quote from the cinematographer saying, everything we wanted you to see, you saw.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I was like, that's super badass to say, or it's a really good cover. But I honestly don't believe Game of Thrones caliber people involved are making mistakes like that. Like I don't think anything
on purpose.
Everything's intentional.
And it's not like they
fully agree with that.
people who aren't into film think that they filmed it dark. They didn't film it dark. They just made it in post
Artful.
like that to be, I guess, more realistic. And that you notice it's really like chaotic and stuff. Like
How would you focus on anything with that actually happening?
Exactly.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
They move so fast, and there's so many people colliding.
Yeah.
What are you going to move around people with a steady cam and like track focus on a White Walker fighting one dude in the middle of it wouldn't happen. It'd be like instant, just swords impaling, craziness, flashes. You'd be dead.
What do you think it would actually be like to be in a battle, like a real battle, like back in the day, medieval times, sword battles? I'd never. One of the things I never get is how do they know who's on your side?
Oh, I'd be stabbing all my own buddies.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh,
Sorry,
Maddie, no. What happened? I slit his throat. What? I didn't know. This guy had blonde hair.
I thought he was on the other side.
I just slit his throat. I was just slitting throats.
It's got graphic real fast.
Didn't know what to do. So I just started slitting.
Yeah, but
okay, here's what I didn't like.
Okay, yeah, well, we talked a little bit about this.
The entire series has focused from episode 1 on the White Walkers, the threat beyond the wall, the wall itself.
That's true. Right from the beginning,
White Walkers. Then the dude deserts his post at the wall at the Castle Black to run, gets to Winterfell, which is like the next line of defense after the wall, to be like, oh, White Walkers. And they're like, boom, cut your head off. See you later. That guy's gone the whole time. And then the whole last season, like all like the fairy tales they would tell Bran. And then the first episode when he was like sick in his bed and the woman is telling him about White Walkers and the history of all this stuff. Bran the Builder. Maybe there's a connection.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All this stuff. Last season was almost entirely Jon Snow being like, guys, forget this right now.
We're going to die.
The real problem is here. A whole season. They're like, guys, we need to band together. Blah. And then they're gone. They're gone. The Night King is just a pile of ice cubes.
Snap of a finger, they're all done.
He's just gone.
Yeah.
Like they only made it to Winterfell. They were so smart to get to where they were. I was talking with Omar at the coffee shop. He was thinking how cool would it have been if they had fought and they couldn't find the Night King. And then it flashes to King's Landing. He like takes off a cloak and he's in like the throne room with like a whole bunch of people. And you're like, oh, he's so smart. He outsmarted them all. And now everyone's going to get wrecked for sure.
Duped.
Something like, oh, yeah. But I felt more like John's running towards him through the dragon. Everyone starts like, well, you're like, oh, this is it. They're going to fight finally. Yeah. Like he's running. He's going to get there. He's going to get there. And then he just does his dick move and like just does the hands again. And everyone stands up and I'm like, come on. It's funny because he's one of the biggest villains ever because Game of Thrones is massive. Yet all he did was, he stood on cliffs. He just looked out at people. Raised his hands twice.
He did kill one dragon. That's probably the extent of his action.
With a spear. He threw a giant icicle.
From a far distance, threw an icicle.
He threw an icicle twice. Yeah. He touched a baby, or was that like one of the general dudes? Or was it him?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a little bit unclear, I think. Probably one of the general dudes.
Him or one of the general dudes touched a baby and the baby went blue.
But did he even pull out his sword once?
He never even pulled out his epic ice sword. He was about to.
Yeah, he was, right?
With that epic, by the way, that music that they made for his, that song's called The Night King. I listened to it on iTunes. Insane. And it just climaxes as he goes to get his sword and then he gets turned into ice cubes. But I feel like, hey, this would have at least made me happy. Two things. One, it wasn't Theon versus the Night King. Because I'm like, come on. Like, could you not have just had Jon run at him and like maybe he got beat around and knocked out or something? Whatever. Theon just seemed, really? You're just going to charge?
So you were bummed that
I was bummed that it was him that charged the Night King and then it just happened the way it happened. It just felt kind of like, I liked his interaction with Bran. I liked that he got some closure and it felt like he was honored and respected and forgiven at the end. Yeah. And I liked that. I didn't like him running at the Night King with a spear because we all know what's going to happen. I
think you kind of needed that to show the hopelessness of the scene. It's like, all right, I got nothing. I guess this is it. All right, I'm going in. Like,
I'll go down trying.
This is the only thing I can do.
Sure. Okay.
You know?
Okay.
That's how
I'll give you
hopeless.
that.
Everybody was in their own little struggles at that point. You know, John and all the other characters.
I'm happy with. I think it's cool how he got killed with the dagger. She did that move last season.
Spoilers.
When she was fighting, when she was sparring with Brienne. She grabs her dagger, like dodges and tosses it to the other hand. So it was like,
you're right,
one of her tricks, which was super cool. I just wish there was at least like 15 dudes standing between Bran and the Night King, and we got to see him take his sword out and just waste everybody in the most epic Darth Maul style,
Matrix style.
Just
I was kind of hoping in a Matrix style, like crazy battle. You know,
I wanted to see him fight. I wanted to see this epic, prolific, mythical, now real threat of like beyond the wall. The dead are coming. I wanted to see the captain of this whole threat draw a sword and go ham on 10 guys and then get killed. But instead we got the Peter McKinnon 120 walk towards
96 frames per second.
Yeah. I heard that too in the BTS. 96 is still dope.
It is, yeah.
We got that 96 FPS, which was cool, but that was like 5 minutes of coolness that could have been like reallocated to epic savagery. With the ice sword.
Yeah.
About to take it. I'm like, come on, just do something. And he would have just stabbed him anyway, or I don't know.
It was a bit, it wasn't anticlimactic necessarily, but I was expecting a little bit more than just Cliff staring at people and whatever.
He's on a dragon. He went like this. He did that.
Yeah, but he was like the most, everybody's so scared of him. And then like this little girl just like, done. Easy.
I got a text today from a friend of mine, and he said, I have 18 messages. Ooh. I put my phone down when we started this podcast. I have 18 messages.
Doesn't that stress you out?
Horrible.
I don't like that.
And he said this was this morning. So the creators of Game of Thrones just hinted that he might not be done with the White Walkers. I just said, how's that?
This is news to me.
And he just said, I don't know. So I disregarded. But
so that had no basis in it.
No basis, but interesting. I wondered that myself. Like, is everyone freaking out that the plot's over and maybe it's not? Because there's still 3 episodes. It's not like the series is over. I'm just a bit bummed out that and I understand the ultimate villain is Cersei.
Yeah, that's what it seems like now.
I just wish it wasn't. And that prophecy that woman, what was her name?
Melisandre, I think?
She was like, you'll close brown eyes, blue eyes, and green eyes? Cersei has green eyes, so she's done like 2 of them.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know.
I honestly thought, I thought everybody was going to get duped and that it was going to be Cersei versus Winterfell first. And then we were going to do Night King.
Just to come in and waste everyone.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be kind of the surprise, but it wasn't. So I'm really curious to see what's going to, by the time this comes out, we'll have episode 4, but
I'm really that one too.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have to watch that after the fact. Yeah. Back off social media. For everyone listening that doesn't watch Game of Thrones, sincere apologies.
Yeah.
But shame on you.
Yeah, I think it's
with the bell. Ding.
I think it's such a cinematic masterpiece. Like, the beginning, I think it's really hard to get into Game of Thrones in the beginning. At least it was for me.
4 seasons, man.
Yeah. I rewatched the first, I think 1 or 2 episodes, I think 4 or 5 times until I was like, okay, I'm gonna decide that I'm gonna watch the whole season. And it probably took me at least 1 or 2 seasons to be like, okay, I like this show.
4 seasons in, I was still slightly on the fence.
But there's just so many characters. And that's one of the best things about Game of Thrones is there's so many characters, so many storylines, and they build up each character really well to the point that they can kill off main characters and everybody's okay because there's these other main characters that you're just as invested in and like
I feel
you're
like
fine.
One thing it did, honestly, I feel like it ruined a lot of TV for me. Because I judge other shows now based on the writing, on the delivery, on the acting, on the special effects, and I see stuff and I think to myself, this is garbage. And it's probably still very good and impressive and people love it, but I'm comparing it to like what we just saw on Sunday and nothing compares to it.
Well, Game of Thrones is essentially Hollywood movies now
On TV, yeah.
It's not TV in a way.
So my comparison is almost not fair.
Oh yeah, for sure, it's not fair.
You know,
not at all.
But it has kind of ruined. Like when I watch stuff, I just wish it was like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad.
It'll be interesting to see, is all TV gonna go into that essentially becoming long movies.
You ever watched a show called The Last Kingdom on Netflix?
No.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very. If you like,
what
Game
do you
of
like
Thrones,
about it?
If you like Game of Thrones, you'll like it.
What's the premise of it? Is it like
I don't know.
Okay.
Same kind of
I'll
thing.
have to check it
without
out
the
then.
magic.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's what are some of the other shows that you watch?
I like Narcos.
Yeah, Narcos is great.
Narcos was great.
I'm drawing a blank now. There's so many shows that I
know.
like actually. I loved Breaking Bad, and a lot of people I don't think like what's Better Call Saul. I don't think they like that as much.
I watch it because it's in the realm of Breaking Bad.
I love it.
But if I never saw it again, I wouldn't be bummed out.
It's true.
What are we, 5 seasons now, and he just basically called himself Saul?
It's a different caliber, or it's such a different show compared to something like Game of Thrones. It's hard to compare, but there's so many things about Better Call Saul that I just really, really appreciate. It's so different from a lot of TV. Even the way they use a lot of like really harsh lights and like just like really interesting stuff.
I really like Vince Gilligan. I like his style.
Yeah.
I really like his style. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's good.
For me,
I just don't really care.
Better Call Saul sold me because when I heard that there was going to be a spinoff on Saul Goodman, I was like, I don't even like him in Breaking Bad. He's like one of the worst characters.
They've done a great job with that.
And the very first season, they got me to understand where he's coming from, and I was rooting for him already. I was on his side, and that's why right away I was into it, because to me, that's really impressive. Anytime in movies or TV, you can get me to hate or like somebody and then reverse it again at some point. So like if in the beginning you like somebody and then you hate them in the middle, and then by then you're like, I like this guy again. Like that to me is really
Jamie
impressive.
Lannister.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate
There's
him.
a lot of Game of Thrones characters that are in that Tyrion, like Jamie, a lot of people that even Daenerys, I didn't like her in the beginning necessarily. I mean, you kind of felt bad for her but
just meh.
Yeah.
On her.
Yeah, maybe. But
right.
It's interesting.
Should we move on for the people who came here to listen to not Game of Thrones?
Who's that?
We have a shot list, but it's blocked by that camera, so I can't see it.
I don't know. I'm getting kind of hungry. I'm like,
you're about done with this podcast.
I'm pretty much like, it's getting.
I don't know how much longer I can shuffle this deck of cards.
You shuffled it pretty good.
It's pretty mixed.
I think. Can we do like a trick now?
All right. See you later.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. Do you want to go get lunch or?
Yeah.
Okay.